you just saw with Christian Samaj. Should we want the Thunder and Warriors to face off in the playoffs, Stephen A?
You know what? Based on what we've seen, absolutely not. I mean, I want competition. I want rivalries. I want something that's compelling, other than the storyline of the fact that they don't like one another. It would mean far more to me if the Golden State Warriors and the Oklahoma City Thunder games were actually competitive. But the fact of the matter, they haven't been. The Thunder have been just destroyed by the Golden State Warriors every time they've met them this year. The games have not even been interesting. And like I told you, I don't want to hear anything from Max Kellerman on this matter. Max Kellerman's words mean nothing to me on this matter because he's usually chilling in L.A., Vegas, or Bristol while I got to sit up there and catch connecting flights to Oklahoma City only to watch them get blown out. I'm not trying to see this. I think about some of the personnel that Russell Westbrook is playing with. Roberson is stealing money. I mean, my God. Could you get some semblance of an offense other than catching alley-oops? Other than that, could you get some semblance of an offense? It would be nice because as of right now, he's just stealing money.
Bricking a free throw or airballing a free throw? Which is worse?
Well, how about both? How about both? I mean, it doesn't matter. When it comes to him, anything. I mean,
I think bricking it is worse. I think bricking it is worse.
His offensive game is so butt ugly, it's offensive. That's really what this comes down to. And so when I look at it from that perspective, I'm just saying, excuse me, when Kevin Durant went up against him, he was shooting like 70% from the field. Russell Westbrook, since Steve Kerr has taken over as coach of the Golden State Warriors, is shooting like 35% from the field. That's worse than he shoots against any opponent. Clearly, Steve Kerr game plans for him, studying film and the like in ways that no other coach is able to do it for him. Whether it's Draymond Green instead of Zsa Pachulia, jumping out on screens in terms of making sure that Russell Westbrook can't exercise pick and rolls efficiently enough or whatever the case may be. Bottom line is that the Golden State Warriors destroy the Oklahoma City Thunder every time they play them this year. And last night it was without Kevin Durant. Imagine what it would be with him there. I don't like it. I'm not interested in it. It doesn't appeal to me.
Who would you rather see them play in the first round? Anyone?
Well, I would say San Antonio instead of Golden State.
Or the second. In other words, early in the playoffs, you get mismatches. The question is, in the first two rounds, often you get mismatches. The question is, what kind of mismatch would you want to see, and what is less likely to be a mismatch? Of course you want to see Golden State and Oklahoma City. I thought this was a trick question. You don't want to see the jilted superstar whose best chance for a championship, his running buddy, walks out the door, as you've been lamenting all season, goes to the team that beats them in 7 games, a team they should have beaten, and then it makes him look bad leaving in the process because everyone's talking about, well, he couldn't win with Westbrook. It must be a problem with Westbrook. You don't want to see that guy get a shot at revenge? What? You're going to see something better early in the playoffs than that? What are you expecting to see?
Well, I'm saying there is no shot at revenge. That's my point. If there were a shot, I would want to see it. There is no shot. The Oklahoma City Thunder just come up small. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll be totally honest with you. When they acquired Taj Gibson and obviously Enes Kanter was coming back, I just said, okay, you look at this personnel. Maybe they could do a little something. But Russell Westbrook, Golden State is able to defend against him the way nobody else is. I don't think San Antonio could defend against Russell Westbrook in the manner that other teams could. I don't think Houston could defend against Russell Westbrook in the way the Golden State Warriors can. But the Golden State Warriors, because of the multitude of individuals that have length as defenders, they're really able to neutralize Russell Westbrook in a way nobody else can. And if you can neutralize Russell Westbrook, what chance does the Oklahoma City Thunder have? I say zero.
Listen, do you really think, I know Memphis matches up with Golden State in certain ways because they can post in different things, but do you really think Memphis is going to beat Golden State? No. You don't believe they're going to beat them either. So the real question is, what gives us the best story? The best story in the NBA, period, is Cleveland versus Golden State. Other than that, the Thunder and the Golden State Warriors are the best story going in the NBA, and you don't want to see that in the Western Conference playoffs? You don't want to see OKC fans get at least 2 chances to boo Kevin Durant? You don't want to see if Russell Westbrook can maybe carry the team to a couple improbable wins in the playoffs? What if Russell Westbrook takes the Thunder to a single win on the road against Golden State? That's not going to be an exhilarating kind of early playoff story for you?
Well, first of all, you could ask one rhetorical question or you could ask 11. It's all the same because Max Kellerman, I still don't understand with those eyes of yours why you cannot see what I am saying. Look at the Oklahoma City Thunder this year when they've gone against Golden State. It hasn't been competitive. They were annihilated in the first 2 games at the Oracle. They go to Oklahoma City. They got beat down. I was at the game that Saturday night. It wasted my weekend. I was in Oklahoma City on a weekend. That's me. I was in Oklahoma City on a weekend, okay? And
that's what this is really about.
It just didn't make any sense. It was like, look, they just have their way with them. I want competitive games. That's why I resent Kevin Durant so much for going to Golden State, because the competitive juices, we've been robbed of that, because he goes from, look, it's not just who he went to and how potent it makes them. Look at how it's decimated Oklahoma City. Look at if Russell Westbrook ain't registering triple doubles, the Oklahoma City Thunder are one of the 3 worst teams in the NBA. That's how bad they've been.
What you want is the illusion of competition early in the playoffs.
No, I want competition. You in illusions. I'm in the competition.
But it's the illusion. My point is, if Golden State has Kevin Durant, Memphis ain't going to beat him. I know that's a matchup issue, but they're not going to beat them, and we all know that. And neither is Oklahoma City. So the question is, what's the better story? If you're arguing, no, I really want to see a 5 or a 6-game series simply because the series will be extended, simply because there's an illusion that the other team maybe has a chance to win, that's more important than the story going in to Oklahoma City and Golden State, we just have to agree to disagree.
Here's what I think you're missing. If Oklahoma City, for example, ended up, you're thinking about who's going to replace Oklahoma City in terms of that 7th seed. I'm thinking about the 1 and 2 seed. So I'm thinking if Oklahoma City stayed at 7, but San Antonio was in there, I think San Antonio OKC would be a 6-game series. And I think there would be a lot of competitive games in that series.
But who's going to win the series?
I don't see the same with Golden State. Well, San Antonio, of course, but I don't believe. But again, it's about being interested watching the game. It's
you want a series extended.
It's another thing not to even see a competitive confrontation. It's not competitive.
You want to see a series extended. You think that's more important. Competitive games where you know the outcome.
Even if it was 4-0.
Even if it were
4-0, Max, even if it were 4-0, I want to see actual competitive 48-minute games. Okay. I haven't seen Oklahoma City competitive against Golden State for 24 minutes.
Okay, so you are on record as saying you want to see OKC and the Spurs. After all, OKC's athleticism, their athletic quality has given the Spurs trouble recently, but you acknowledge that they have no real chance to win the series,